It's time for the MMA-Holes!
From the Jump Back Studios of Arizona, we're live with the MMA-Holes.
Wonderful.
Got hiccups. How's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully you're wonderful. My name is Chris Mystic Moss, King of the Dragons. Conor McGregor's press conference did not happen today. We were going to go live for the press conference. We were going to react to it with the MMA Holes, and we get this notification from the UFC. No press conference. Nothing is happening. Michael Chandler was about to get on the plane, and a good thing they told him because it is not going down. We're going to dissect the information that we have for Conor McGregor. What's in store for 303? Will it be canceled? Will someone step in? Will the co-main event be now the main event? So much to talk about here on the MMA Holes in a fight week for a fight night that's overshadowed by Conor McGregor. A fight that went down, a bunch of fights that went down on Saturday. Islam Makhachev defeating Dustin Poirier. The Diamond gets crushed on Saturday night and still overshadowed by Conor McGregor. So we'll talk about a little of that other stuff, but we're focusing on McGregor, and we're going to find out, will he fight at 303? The man who has never pulled out of a fight. Will this be the first time where he cannot compete? Is he injured? Is he coked up? Is he on steroids? Did he pop? Was he partying too much? I mean, if you look on the social media platforms, he's having a damn good time. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on very shortly. But before we get there, let's talk about mybookie.ag. The promo code is MMAHOLES for a 10% matching first deposit. I want to thank MyBookie for that bet boost that they put out there. They actually put the bet out. They gave us the bet, and I placed it, and it hit. Let's go, champs. Come on. I placed it, and it hit. So I want to shout out to MyBookie. They put a parlay together. I was like, yeah, that looks good. All the winners got plus money on it, and we hit. So MMAHOLES is the code. It's at mybookie.ag to get 10% off on your first deposit, and 10% off Dubby. Link in the description down below. If you go to Dubby's website, use promo code MMAHOLES for the 10% off. And shout out to ESPN Plus, not the best streaming platform, but the platform that the UFC is on. And we watch all the events there. Click the link in the description. And once again, thank you to the people that used our link. I truly appreciate anytime you get a pay-per-view or you want to watch anything UFC, use the link down below. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Wonderful.
All right. So what's the conspiracy theories in the chat? Like, where are you guys going with this? Do you think Conor McGregor's not going to fight? I know a lot of people out there are saying, oh, I told you so. This was never going to happen, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you what my initial theory was when I first heard the news is early this morning. I was going to do this. Actually, no, I think it was last night, if I'm not mistaken. I was going to schedule the stream, and then I saw the post that the UFC made, and let me pull it up over here for you guys. It's a very curious situation because, like I said, Conor has never pulled out of a fight card. It kind of feels a little bit like UFC 196. We were going to go to Vegas. RDA got hurt, and it was this whole thing. Will Conor fight? Will someone step in? What's happening? That was kind of reversed because it wasn't Conor McGregor. But Conor has made a statement that this, is out of his hands. This is what Conor said. Here, let me pull this up here. So Conor's post addressing this says, in consultation with the UFC, today's press conference was canceled due to a series of obstacles outside of my control. I apologize to my Irish fans and fans around the world for the inconvenience and appreciate all of your passion and support. I can't wait to put the greatest all-time show in the octagon. So there's a bunch of things to think about. Okay. Like I said, he has never pulled out before of a fight, but in this state This Conor McGregor, this version, movie star Conor McGregor coming off big injury. I mean, if there is something going on, if there is an injury behind the scenes, something he's always going into fights with, this is a situation where you might want to pull out. Now, I understand he's a stubborn son of a bitch, but he has people around him that are probably advising him, if he is injured, advising him, saying, hey, listen, if you're going to wait this long to come back and then you come back injured, not the smartest move in the world. You know, what are you, 35 years of age? This is a big opportunity for you. You know, if you come back, you win. You just never know. They might even throw you against Islam after what happened against Dustin Poirier. You just don't know. So it makes a lot of people think. And the thing that really stands out in this situation is I can't wait to put on the greatest all-time show in the octagon. So it's not like I'll see you at UFC 303. That is very alarming, okay? To those people out there that are Conor McGregor fans, to those people out there that want to see Conor just get smashed, to the people that bought tickets for this event, this is incredibly, incredibly alarming. Or for the streamers out there that want to get the red panty night, hoard subscribers, get donations, all that fun stuff. I was psyched up for this thing because, listen, not only am I a McGregor fan, but I love the hype leading into McGregor fights. And the press conference today in Dublin would have been fire. It would have been, you know, WWE nonsense, but I would have enjoyed it. I would have live streamed with you guys and hung out. You think it's Roadhouse 2? You think he has AIDS? I see people in the chat over here. They're putting in you know, what they think might be going on. But it is to be concerning if you do want to see 303 headlined by Conor McGregor. It is very concerning. I can't wait to put on the greatest all-time show in the octagon. But when? So my first thought when the UFC, and let me just put this up here, when the UFC posted this, the first thing that jumped into my mind, this is before Conor McGregor released anything. Now, where's the post? Let's see, maybe UFC. Let's see, was it on here? Where's the... Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is the post over here. It says, breaking, UFC 303 Dublin press conference postponed until further notice. So the first thing I thought was, oh, here we go. Conor McGregor is playing mind games with Michael Chandler. That was literally the first thing that jumped into my mind, because think about this. You fly Michael Chandler to Dublin. Michael Chandler is in enemy territory. He's ready to put on a show with Conor, have a little fun, and he's in the middle of a training camp getting ready for the biggest fight, biggest red panty night of his career. And then all of a sudden Conor says, nah, the press conference is not happening. It still could be that. It's still very well, especially if you look at the tweet that he put out, he could be playing games here. And the weird thing was Michael Chandler was about to board the plane, and they were saying, no, stay home. Turn around. Don't go to Ireland, you know? So what is Chandler thinking? How does Chandler not know what the hell is going on? Like, he's literally the second half of the equation, and the UFC is telling him, hey, listen, I don't think it's a good idea for you to get on this plane because it's not happening, you know? So that's got to mentally drain Chandler. So what the media, as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, it's got to be him playing fucking mind games with Chandler. It has to be that. But you had like 10,000 people apparently ready to show up for this thing. You know, there were free tickets. It sold out quickly. I mean, I guess you could say sold out, right? I've gone to free events, and yeah, you have to be first come, first serve. If the building has no more seats, it's technically sold out. I've been like with what's it called, weigh-ins, ceremonial weigh-ins, all that stuff. Like, you get free stuff, and if there's no seats, you can't go. And this in Ireland, 10,000 people were going to be in the building just to watch a press conference. That's it. People talking some smack to promote an event at the end of the month, not even in Ireland, right? So that's a lot of loyal fans that were putting time aside to go to this thing. A lot of people that are paying for tickets to go to UFC 303 are now sweating. You know, this is free, no big deal. I don't know if, media was going to this, right? Media members were probably there, probably flew over there already, getting ready to cover this event, and then all of a sudden it's not happening. So, you know, a lot of people lost money on this thing, and people are definitely sweating for 303, because what do you do? Like, if whatever they put there, it's still not Conor, right? It's still not that shiny, superstar, whatever you want to call Conor. Not a champion, just, I don't know, celebrity. It's not him anymore. The show has completely changed. So, like, what do you do? Are people going in for refunds? Are people, like, the UFC is keeping everyone dangling. Now, it says postponed. So that is the UFC saying, well, it's going to happen. It's just, we're just putting it off. But that's nothing set in stone. Because when you have Conor McGregor making tweets, like the one I showed you before, where are you, Conor? You. We have Conor putting tweets like this and saying, I apologize to my Irish fans and fans around the world for the inconvenience and appreciate all your passion and support. I can't wait to put on the greatest all-time show in the Octagon. Very vague. So it could be the end of the month or it could be postponed. So I want to know in the chat what you think here. And we're going to talk about this a lot tonight. So if you're not a big Conor McGregor fan or you're sick of talking about Conor, you don't give a shit about 303, that's fine. We'll see you next time. But we're going to be talking about this a lot tonight. We will touch on the event that happened on Saturday night as well. I ask you in return to hit that like button. But chat, what do you think about this? This is some of the information, not all of the information. This is only some of it that I'm feeding you. Let's see. News to me, his wife must be pregnant. Full stomach, lazy body. He's going to promote it himself at the old DeLorean factory. Conor probably raped someone on his way to the airport. I couldn't make it. I'm in the middle of raping someone right now. I just can't make it. So according to Ariel Helwani, he has squashed a lot of the speculation of failed steroid test, trouble punching an old guy at the bar, rape allegation, what's it called? Any of the extracurricular activities outside of the octagon, Ariel has squashed. So apparently it's none of that stuff. But what wasn't squashed was injury. That was not squashed. That's still out floating around. Now, it doesn't seem like he's injured, but he might be bouncing around. If he did get hurt, he might be bouncing around to his team like, what the fuck do we do now? He's never pulled out from an injury before, but like I said before, in this circumstance, in this situation, you may want to think about pulling out because it just doesn't make sense for the future of, the Conor McGregor situation. I tell you, when you see the videos that have been floating around, and let me post some of these things right here. And by the way, shout out to MMA-Holes.tv. We got 200 members over there. Go on over to our Pick'em League. According to Ariel. Yeah, listen, I as much as I am not the biggest Ariel fan, he is one that will give you the most legit information. I will say that. He will give you, when it comes to like news, and he actually has an inside source with Conor as well. He's got a lot of hooks, so I will give him that credit for sure. As a person, that's a whole different story. But anyway, let's do this. Okay, so like there's a bunch of videos of Conor that have been posted of Conor just basically partying, right? Just him just going out at the club, dancing, grinding chicks, grabbing booty, just having a grand old time, right? Slapping asses. Like, look at him, just having some fun out there, right? He said he's not drinking, he's not doing anything, blah, blah, blah. But when you look at everything, I mean, he's having a grand old time. Check it out. Look at him, just having a good time. Look at him. Now, I'm going to say this. Me personally, I have this weird feeling when you see these pictures here. I think that this is a stunt, to be honest. I do. I think this is... Conor has his whole career, he's been a psychological, mental... Like, you could tell, even stringing Chandler along, he's been mentally preparing Chandler to be fucked with until the fight. Even procrastinating and all this stuff, filming the movie. Like, the games he's playing on social media, you can tell... He knows that Chandler's a tough dude, man. Chandler's a guy that can really pose problems to Conor. So what do you got to do? Throughout his career, when he was getting his wins, he was getting in his opponent's heads. So how could you get in your opponent's heads when you're coming off a massive injury? You've looked human. You know, when you're this unbeatable force that's moving up the rankings, you could always have that in the back of their head where they're like, oh, I don't know, this guy's really good, and he's talking all this shit. He doesn't really have half of the equation anymore. He's a beatable human being, and they're fighting at 170. You know, it's like he's a beatable guy. So now what do? You go out there and you post things. You kind of keep your opponent guessing. I don't think he's partying as hard, and I could be wrong, but this is just a guess. I don't think he's doing it. I think he's leaking this shit on purpose to fuck with people. I think that's what he's doing, and especially Michael Chandler. Like, look at him. He's just having a blast over here. We don't know when these are. I have no idea. I have no clue. Were you guys at the club when this was happening? Who knows? Maybe it is happening now. I have no idea. But I got to be honest with you, I think he is taking this very serious. I truly think that. So when it comes to that aspect of the game, I don't think it's that. I don't think he's partying so much that he's like, I can't fight, I'm drunk. You know, I don't think that's quite it. The injury thing, okay, Conor McGregor is injured ahead of UFC 303 bout. This is home of the fight. They said, they released this and they said, listen, this is via this guy, okay, whoever this dude is, okay, I have no idea. It's like a Brazilian dude. I have no fucking clue. I don't know who he is and what sources he has, but I don't see anything of him posting this. I don't see, there's nothing. So the injury reports that are circling the interwebs, I don't believe any of it, you know, that it's legit. Now, is he injured? It's possible. But all this stuff that you see out there, I think it's just people looking for clicks and shares and all that stuff. So I don't quite buy the information that's thrown out there here, because if you look at who it's via, the via has nothing on their social media. So I think they're just kind of fucking around here, you know, trying to get their posts out. So is there solid news that Conor McGregor is injured? No. But could it be possible? Yeah. It could totally be possible. You know, something is off. Now, maybe this is a stunt too. I mean, I don't know why you would do that to your fans or the people that bought tickets to your event. You're kind of fucking with them. So if this is an elaborate stunt to get into Michael Chandler's head, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people that have invested money in this and their time in this. So now the fact that it's a stunt, I'm kind of throwing out the window. I don't think it is. I don't think it is a stunt. So now the question is, we have to narrow this down. You'll do nothing, yeah. We have to narrow this down. Is it an injury? Is he partying too much? I mean, I don't think that's the case, but you never know. Maybe he's not taking this as serious as he thought he was. And his people are like, okay, you know, it's not a good idea. What the hell could it be? What could it be? Did he fail a USADA test? I mean, Ariel squashed all that stuff. Ariel said, listen, man, I can assure you that that's not the situation. But who knows? Maybe he's being lied to. What could it be? The one thing I will say, does he have staff? Which would be hilarious since he just shit on Islam for having staff. Does he have staff? And Islam, you know, he actually said that was true. He does have staff. And he doesn't shower. He admitted to not showering.
Wonderful, wonderful.
What could it be? What I will say is if Conor McGregor is fighting, if he is fighting at UFC 303, this is great publicity. I'll tell you that much. Because here we are. It's all over the news. It's all over people's podcasts and their social media feeds. Everyone's talking about this. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then once we dissect exactly what it is on this show, we'll segue into talking about what should the UFC do if Conor's not going to fight at 303. Thank you, Casey Jones, very much. Has gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Casey. Whoever got that membership, let's go.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I see a Travis super chat. It's not coming in here, but I see it over there. I'll read it. With a $5 super chat. Thank you so much for the support, Travis.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Listen, if we get a horde of donos or a big bombski, I'll open up the phone lines immediately. The event is sold out. Why should he do anything media to sell the fight? When it's sold out, he's either sick or just don't care because it's sold out. Now, that's a very good point. That is a very good point. Conor McGregor has said, as he has gotten more and more famous, McGregor has said that, you know what? I don't need to do media anymore. It just gets in the way. I need to prepare myself for the fight. There's no need for me to go out there and sell something when it's already going to get 1 million+ pay-per-view buys, just me showing up. So he could have said to the UFC, you know what? No. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't think that's it. And the reason why is because this is in Ireland, man. Like, he's there. You know what I'm saying? This is in front of his people. This is not going to really make... I mean, it's not like he's flying somewhere. He's flying to Vegas and getting dragged in all different directions. This is in Ireland. You know? So I don't quite buy that. Now, if this was in Vegas or it was like the pre-fight press conference and he just doesn't show... I guess we can say maybe that's possibly the case. But in this situation over here, no, I don't think that's it. It's interesting. I mean, it could be. Nothing's impossible, but I would lean toward the direction of that being not quite the case. And thank you again for that donation. Appreciate you. Forged Irish Stout has drugs in it. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the Forged Irish Stout. You know, the creamy top got to him. I don't know. That's the face of a man that's high. I mean, listen. It looks like, from everything that's being posted, it sure does look like Conor's having a grand old time. Now, like I said, I have a theory. I do have a theory thinking that this is just a tactical plan. Listen, we saw Ryan Garcia go out there, and everyone and their mother thought that Ryan Garcia was all coked up and doing all this crazy stuff. And maybe he was. I don't know. But he looked phenomenal the night of the fight. This could be right out of the Ryan Garcia playbook, guys. Think about it. We literally just saw this. We literally just saw this happen. People are talking about it. People are like, what's going on here? Could possibly be that the media thing that was supposed to happen today is the same thing out of the playbook. It's very possible. I just don't know why you would do that to your fans. You know, 10,000 people are going to show up in an event. So that's why I find this alarming. I do. And I would think that 303 is in jeopardy. Will Conor McGregor fight this year? Who the hell knows? Who knows? And to a lot of the people out there saying, I told you so, this fight's not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. I mean, listen, you may be right. Because financially, he don't need to fight. Casey Jones, I'm going to just read your super chats over here when they come in. Streamlabs, they know will work. I do not know why it's not playing on this. It's probably going to be a heavy delay, so I'm just going to read it. Casey Jones dropping to 2 says, Lady Gaga may be pregnant. She's my spirit animal. Lady Gaga, really? Who knocked her up? That's interesting. Are you saying that Harley Quinn might be pregnant? Hand or foot injury. Conor pulled an Irish goodbye to UFC 303. Maybe, yeah, the old Irish exit, you know? Not saying goodbye and just bouncing. Could you imagine? That could be a big fuck you to the UFC. I mean, he's part of BKFC. Is something behind the scenes going on? Maybe some drama between him and Dana? Is this a big FU to the company that he usually speaks very highly of? Well, I mean, if this might make you feel a little bit better, he did say he's going to return to the octagon. And there's only one place where the octagon is, that's the UFC. So this tweet over here, if you're just jumping in, this is Conor McGregor. 6 hours ago, he says, in consultation with the UFC, today's press conference was canceled due to a series of obstacles outside of my control. Very interesting. Consultation with the UFC, today's press conference was canceled. So wait, hold on. Did the UFC call him up and say, hey man, you're not clean right now? Or did Conor say, hey, I'm dealing with an injury. I need to heal this thing up. So I'm day by day. I don't know if I could make it to the fight. If I go to this press conference, you know, I just need to ice whatever's going on here. I might have to go to the doctor to check something out. I might have been twerking at the dance club. Who knows? But it's really weird. Outside of his control. He is apologizing to his Irish fans and the fans around the world for the inconvenience. Appreciate all your passion and support. So something is up. I don't quite think that this is a publicity stunt. I don't. This particular. Now, when it comes to the posts of him at the nightclubs partying, yeah, I honestly think that's I think he's messing with us. I truly do. I'm Irish-Scottish, but I think because, hold on, this is from Travis. Thank you. Hey, Travis, dropping to $5. Thank you so much. He says, I'm Irish-Scottish, but I think because it's sold out, why put the extra work? And he hasn't been seen with an actual drink in his hand. And there you go, too. Very good point by Travis with the $5 donation. Yes, very good point. Like, I'm telling you, he could be there at the club dancing for the cameras, making believe he's drunk, but there's not any evidence. There's no evidence of him actually pounding anything. Even when we saw Conor McGregor doing that live stream on Kick, gambling, he was sniffing it. You could tell he wanted that thing, but you never saw him drink it. I think this is a Ryan Garcia situation. I do. I don't know why Super Chat's not playing, but I'm going to read him again. Here we go. KC coming in with the $2. He says, I need to poop, and I'm not yet sure where to poop.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Well spent $2 right there. Bird on Wire says, money related. Think he's trying to power play Dana or the UFC to get more pay for the fight. That's why the UFC, not Conor, has said anything. Well, the UFC said postponed. There is something that happened when he spoke to the UFC that they said, okay, we can't do this anymore. The question is what? The one thing that really, really stands out for me that I just can't stop thinking about, and this is something that will have the paid fans, like, think about this too. What about people that are going to buy the pay-per-view in advance? This does not help the UFC in any way. People could be putting in for refunds. People that want to pay for the UFC are saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna pay for this shit. I don't even know if he's fighting." I can't wait to put on the greatest all-time show in the Octagon. No date. No confirming that's going to be at 303. It's really weird. That's really fucking weird. There could be some hostility between Team Conor, and Team Dana. There could be. Could be. Sober, open the door. I've been knocking. What the hell does buy mean? What are you talking about? Presses are very important in selling and promoting an event. Yeah. I mean, listen, like people were saying before, you really don't need this event tomorrow. You don't. It's for the casual fan more than anything, right? Because people, and for clips and stuff like that, it does keep it very relevant. If Conor McGregor says something really ridiculous at the press conference, or if Michael Chandler comes back with his zinger with the American flag over his shoulders or something, I don't know. So it would have been fun. It could be a tactical move against Chandler. Very possible. It could be. But like I said, dragging the fans along and kind of stopping people from spending money on this event, something is seriously wrong. Buying pay-per-view in advance. Yeah, some people do that. Yeah, some people do. The only reason why I know is because of our link in the description. I see people using it and buying. I do. Believe it or not, some people buy the pay-per-view. In 9 months, I hope Conor has a titanium neck. If you can actually. So let me ask you, does this bother you? Are you upset? Because if you look at the card that is UFC 303, listen, as a content creator, this is a couple of things. My parents are going to be in town. My mom is all into this. She wants to see Conor McGregor fight. She's a fan, right? Even Jesse's mom, right? My mother-in-law, she's not really into this, but if you drag Conor McGregor involved, she's going to be into it. So the casual fan especially is into this, and I love that, man. I love when the chat is fired up with the hardcores and the casuals, and people arguing and complaining, or people loving and dick riding. I like both of that stuff. I love seeing that. I don't know. I love the juice. I love the embedded, seeing all the views on the embedded. I love seeing the views on all our streams and all the other content creators just succeeding and having fun with, the Conor McGregor stories. I love seeing everything in the lead up to a Conor fight, even down to the actual ring walk, the actual fight. Never been bored during a Conor fight. It's been a blast, the Conor ride, right? So of course I want this event to happen, for multiple reasons. as a fan, as a content creator, as everything. If you look at 303, the card that is in play, look at that poster. Terrible poster. Conor, I can't even tell you the last time Conor had a good poster. It's weird. It just goes to show you. They don't even have to spend time on the poster. They know the guy is going to sell a gazillion pay-per-views. Jamal Hill versus Olberg. Would you think that this is the fight to make? I mean, as your main event? Now, listen, it's a banger fight, but you're severely declining the hype, and there's no title on the line. You can't even put a BMF on the line. It's a great fight. It's a problem. And I'm going to segue now into possible solutions. God forbid this man is going to pull out for the first time in his career. Remember, never, ever has he pulled out of a fight. Always willing to go, taking whoever on short notice, fighting injured. He's always fought. So this is, if he is injured and his team or whatever's telling him not to take this fight, you know that this is driving him nuts. And I got to be honest with you, I'm leaning in that direction. I think he's injured. I do. And he's just trying to figure out what to do. Travis coming in with a fat $10 donation. Wonderful. By the way, if you donate to Streamlabs, tell me, because I want to make sure. I don't know why the alerts aren't going. Why? Oh, Streamlabs is working because the double champ thing played over here. The gift. I don't know why Super Chats aren't playing. Travis with a $10 donation. Thank you so much for the 10, baby. I think it's because he has 2 fights on his contract, and he wants a new one because he can sell shit out. But I definitely know UFC is involved with BKFC, or they would have never let him buy it and be an owner. Okay, so I don't think they can really control what Conor does business-wise. I mean, I think while he's under contract, he can't fight for another organization, but I'm pretty sure Conor's not going to sign a contract where he can't do business with another organization. I would imagine that that's not in his contract. Now, other lesser UFC fighters, I would say, well, maybe there's something like that there. I don't see that in Conor's contract. I don't think that's the case. Now, fighting for BKFC, no, you can't do that. Who knows? Maybe there's something. Maybe there is something to the BKFC thing. I don't know. Maybe there's just tension behind the scenes business-wise. Maybe they are renegotiating for money reasons. Possible. Very, very possible. It could be a money situation with the UFC. Maybe Conor doesn't like the dollar signs that are going in his direction. He's like, I got you guys by the balls. I want more. Possible. I mean, considering he is in bed with BKFC, Conor don't need to fight. This is not a title fight. Now, if he wins this fight, you know the UFC is going to do certain things to put him in a direction, but, I mean, he does not need to compete. There's no need for it. Imagine all the Irish fans that booked flights and rooms in Vegas. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking about the media members that flew over to Ireland for this press conference, and then it's not going to happen. Now I got to fly back. Even I guarantee there's fans outside, that probably booked vacations around it, hardcore crazy fans. But in 303, that is the problem. If Conor McGregor is not going to compete, if there's any hint that Conor McGregor is not going to compete at the end of this month, they need to tell the fans now. Now. But it's a business. So they're going to hold on as long as they can. Nothing says that Conor's pulling out. According to like Ariel and in the reliable sources, nothing really leads to the direction of Conor pulling out of this fight. But the one red flag, and I'll keep going back to it, and that's why I hope Conor tweets something else to kind of give us a peace of mind, or tag us and fucking bang Conor and say, yo, are you fighting at 303? Because he says, I can't wait to put on the greatest all-time show in the octagon. You know Conor wants to fight in the Sphere. He said that. Maybe he's like, why am I fighting International Fight Week over here? I should be in the Sphere. Maybe that's it. Very possible. Travis coming in with another $5 donation, super chat. He says he's under contract and they have a non-compete. I guarantee you, I think this is a renegotiation thing. It could be. It could be renegotiation, but the non-compete is for fighting. I don't think it's for I honestly don't think it's investing in other companies. I honestly don't think that's in the contract. I don't. Because how could he buy into something else and break that. It just doesn't, it's not good business, right? So I just don't think that's the case. Now, renegotiating his contract, yeah, that's possible. That's very possible. Maybe he's like, you know what? Because he says consultations with the UFC, today's press conference was canceled. So in consultations with the UFC, today's press conference, so he spoke to the UFC, they had to cancel. Why? Could be that. He could say, hey, I want to renegotiate this contract. Or, yeah, like I think he has, like, what, 2 fights left in his contract? Maybe he wants 1 and done? Maybe he wants out of his contract. Maybe he wants to fight this one and get the hell out and do things outside of the UFC. Maybe. It's possible. And if that's the case, if he wants 1 more fight, well, then, of course, he's going to want the Sphere, right? He's going to want to be there, I would imagine. So money could be a thing. Not impossible. Thank you so much. Yo, let me just give a big shout out to Travis, man. Travis has been very, very generous supporting the show. Thank you. Just spamming the super chat. I appreciate you, Travis. You're wonderful, wonderful. Now, if you're just jumping into the program and maybe you live under a rock, Conor McGregor's not fighting. Maybe. Well, he's not. He didn't show up today. The press conference didn't happen. It's canceled. But I got to be honest with you. I think right now, I'm going to say 50-50 chance he fights at the end of the month. I'm going 50-50. I am a little pessimistic here. Half of my brain says it's going to happen. Half my brain says it's not. This tweet is very strange. And like I said, a lot of people have money invested in this event, going to this event. The fans are going to UFC 303. Why? Will they not just at least put out a statement and say, hey, fans, everything is fine. Conor will fight at 303. That is what the UFC needs to do. The UFC needs to put something out, a statement out. Conor McGregor needs to put a statement out. Someone needs to put a statement out to the fans that are going to this event. It's the least the UFC can do because these people are paying their hard-earned money. And the fact that they did not put this out to calm fans down and say, hey, this is happening, don't worry, is very alarming. Even if it's a publicity stunt, they're going to lose a lot of money in pay-per-view sales. They're going to lose a lot of money in people just canceling and saying, hey, I'm not going to this. You can listen, I got to be honest with you. UFC 196, I bought a bunch of tickets. Conor versus RDA. I bought a bunch of tickets because I was going to sell. Me and my buddies were going to go. I was going to sell the rest of the tickets, make my money back in sales, scalping the fight. I was going to sell them, have a free trip to Vegas, watch Conor fight. We panicked when RDA fell out because we didn't know if Conor was going to fight. The Nate Diaz thing came through last second. We had no idea what was going on. We thought Conor was not going to fight at UFC 196. So immediately we went for the refunds and we got them. We got the refunds for those tickets that we were going to sell. We kept our tickets. We still went to the event. It worked out great. Nate Diaz finished them, and it was a glorious. I was not happy, but it was a glorious event. We had a great time. Travis coming in with the $5 super chat again and says, but he bought a competing company and is still under contract with the UFC, and BKFC has said they are the best company. No. So technically they're not. They're boxing. Right, so they're not really it is combat sports, yes, but I'm telling you right now, Conor McGregor cannot get into bed with another company. Well, I got to be honest with you, I think that the UFC is in cahoots with Conor with BKFC. Just because of that whole lawsuit that was going on, there was a bunch of speculation, a bunch of rumors, a bunch of conspiracy theorists saying that the UFC is actually involved, but they can't openly say they're involved with BKFC because of the monopoly thing. A lot of people saying it makes sense. So I would have to squash that. Is it impossible? Nothing's impossible. But I hear what you're saying, but I would squash it because of these other theories I think make a little more sense. I think my newest daughter loves your voice. She woke up to watch. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you for the 5 again. Travis going crazy. Travis going crazy, man.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you so much, Travis. Kainotto.
Like the old saying goes, even bad publicity is good publicity.
True.
Conor did this knowing that we'd all be flapping our gums about it. This is the talk of the town at the moment. This Pikey Mick is a genius. The steroid problem is non-existent now.
So listen, I thought that as well. Kainotto, thank you so much for the 2. So the Streamlabs, if you want to play on air, you got to hit the Streamlabs donations. Super Chats, I'll read it. So if you want me to read it, hit the Super Chat. Streamlabs, I'll go in that direction. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, appreciate the support. So Kainotto, I was with you. I really was thinking about this, though. Before I went live, I was like, okay, let's figure this out. Okay. It is great publicity. Yes, everyone's talking about it. I get it. Even being vague in your description on what is going on and not giving everyone the information, totally understand. But when you have paying fans that will ask for refunds for 303, panic and say, I'm not going, cancel their trips, or people that, we're talking pre-sale pay-per-views. People are buying pay-per-views now. That's how they see what's trending and this and that. Like, people start buying pay-per-views. I mean, Conor McGregor is going to fight. I'm going to have a house party. Let me buy the pay-per-view now so I don't have to worry about it. They're not going to do that. You're losing all those pay-per-view sales in the lead-up. That's how they get those million pay-per-view sales, or in the lead-up as well. It's not just the night of. You have the impulse buy. You have the people in the morning buying pay-per-views. But in the lead-up is where you get those big numbers. So I don't think they would sacrifice that. I don't. I understand the buzz. We're talking about it. I think there's a panic situation happening. I do. I think there's something going on that's very serious. To cancel this, it makes no sense. Is it the proper 12? Is it Artem Lobov? Is it this? Is it Michael Chandler's dance moves? I don't know. I have no idea. Life and Logic saying this is very disappointing. I got to say, as a fan, very disappointed. As a content creator, very disappointed in all aspects. I'm very, but Chandler's fine. He's okay.
Wonderful.
He looks so good. He looks like he's in. I mean, could you imagine being Michael Chandler right now? Like, what do you think this guy's thinking? He is in the dark. My man was on his way to Ireland. Now, clearly, the UFC doesn't want Chandler to win. So even if the UFC was in on it, it's a publicity stunt. They're like, fuck you, Chandler. So, if that is true, if that theory is true, like, they're just dragging Chandler along. He's going to get his Rand Penny nights, no big deal. But they don't want him to win. They don't want him. No one in the UFC wants Chandler to win. Even though he's so much fun to watch fight, you need Conor to win. Especially if he's going to stay in the UFC and compete in the octagon. I mean, you need to see him win, because now you got Islam Makhachev saying he's going to move up to 170 and fight this person, that person. But the stars aren't really lining up for that. Conor McGregor wins this fight. He shouldn't fight for a belt. I'm with you. But you know what the UFC is going to do. You know it. It would be the biggest fight in UFC history if Conor McGregor fights Khabib's protege. And I got to be honest with you. I think Khabib is fantastic. I think Islam's the better guy. But with that being said, Islam is beatable. And Khabib, if he kept competing, we would have seen Khabib being beatable. We've seen it earlier in his career, but as he was defending the belt, he looked unstoppable, yes. But the reason why Khabib stopped was, he said, because of his mother. But also, think about it. You hang in there a little too long, you're going to get a little exposed. Islam Makhachev he's hanging in there. He's like, I'm gonna go for double champ status. I'm gonna keep this party going, and I fucking love that. And let me say this. I said I'm not a fan of the GOAT conversation, pound for pound conversation. It doesn't matter. Even if the conversation was happening, it's Islam Makhachev right now, just because he's a little more active. And he looks so dominating at 155. Now, people are saying, hey, Dustin, cut him. It's a big deal. No, listen. Islam went to war with Dustin Poirier. And let's be honest, if you look at the significant strikes throughout the whole fight, Poirier was only ahead in one round in significant strikes. Everything else was Islam. You look at the scorecards. It was in favor of Islam. Even if he lost the final round, he would have won the fight by decision. Credit to Poirier. Moral victory, I guess. But Dustin Poirier will never, ever be the undisputed champ. That ship has sailed. It's gone. Thank you, Travis, again, for the $2 donation. He says, if the match was off, they would have said that first. Well, if it's an injury, okay, so I think right now it could be off, but there might be a glimmer of hope. Like, if there's an injury involved, like perhaps last night, right? Maybe he was training. He twisted his ankle. I gotta go see the doctor today. You know, I gotta see the doctor. It could be that. I gotta see what's going on with this thing. I gotta get x-rays for something because something's feeling a little off. So you're not gonna announce, hey, the fight's off, if it's something in that sort of situation. If it's a contract negotiation, like people are saying, you're not gonna say the fight's off. We'll figure out the numbers. We'll figure this thing out. You know? So listen, it's not guaranteed that the fight's off. It's not guaranteed the fight's on. And I'm just sliced down the middle with this one. 50-50. I'm going that the fight's going to happen. Fight's not going to happen. They're saying postponed in their post to try to give you some hope. But something is massively off. They've been promoting this thing, the Ireland press conference, for a minute now. They've been saying, hey, this is big, man. We're going to do this press conference in Ireland. We'll have the pre-fight press conference right before fight week. It's going to be a big deal. And then they cancel this? Strange. Travis coming in with the $5 super chat. He says, I think it's because it's sold out, honestly. So, okay, so you think because the event is sold out, even if it is sold out, you have to remember, and it is, you still have to remember that people can cancel. People could panic and say, we don't know if Conor's really fighting. Because I got to be honest with you. If I was making this trip, and now it's speculated that Conor actually might not fight, I'm not going to, I mean, no. We don't know who's going to be on this card. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm probably going to sell the tickets or get a refund. I probably am. You know? We need Conor to save the MMA-Holes chat. We need Conor. Conor brought us up. We rode his coattails up. We need him here. If he's gone, that's it. The channel's done. By the way, 200 members. Go on over to Goat Milk, MMAHoles.tv. Go check it out, baby. And make your picks for the fight that might not happen and every other fight. 200 members on Goat Milk. Incredibly fucking pumped up for this website. Let's go, Jeff.
Wonderful.
Very, 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 very pumped. That's the silver lining in this whole story over here. But I want to segue a little bit, and we'll talk about a little more Conor McGregor as well throughout. Do you want me to open up phone lines, guys? I mean, you guys have been super generous. I mean, I got to say this. Travis Barthwick coming in fucking slamming in donations like that. I mean, it would be a dishonor for me not to open them. I might have to open them. I might have to. I'll see. But anyway, the fight that happened last weekend between Makhachev and Dustin Poirier, okay, super overshadowed. No one's even talking about it anymore. It just was there. It was a big thing the night of. Islam gets the submission in the 5th round. And I want to ask you this. Guys. Is Dustin Poirier overrated? Be honest. I know there are a lot of Dustin Poirier fans out there. A lot of DP fans out there. I know you guys are there. I felt you in the chat. A lot of believers. I wasn't one of those believers. Got to be honest with you. I definitely wasn't a believer in Paulo Costa. I'm not going to shit on Jessie about that anymore. I give her a pass. Okay? And we'll talk about Costa too, because he released something that was another Paulo Costa. He just cries after losses. Like, it's ridiculous. I can't get on the Costa train, man. I just can't do it. DP overrated. He was an interim champion. He redeemed himself against Conor McGregor. Okay? Why do we like Dustin Poirier? Well, he's game, right? He shows up, he's game. He's got a great charity. You know? He's a man of the people, Dustin Poirier. He's overcome his losses and his demons. He's got a big-titted wife. So many things you could like about Dustin Poirier. He's a family man. He's a wholesome man. But is he overrated? I mean, the guy that, every time he goes for a belt, he gets choked out. He gets submitted. Right? He's 39-0. What a resume as an MMA fighter. His wife is hot, and she's in Conor's DMs, right? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe she was in Conor's DMs. I don't know. Thank you, Travis, for the $5 super chat. He says, I think that's why you have heard of that selling tickets, but I think Conor is just at a point where he has been posting less crazy shit. Yeah, well, listen, I truly think the posts that are coming up from Conor, I think he's in the zone. I think he's very locked in on this training camp. I think he knows what's at stake. You know, he doesn't want to be a clown anymore. He doesn't want to be, you know, like he wants to go in there and show the people he could beat Michael Chandler. I truly believe that. And all these dancing things, partying things, I don't believe. I'm telling you, Ryan Garcia vibes. That's what I'm getting with that. But thank you, man. Thank you so much, Travis. I'm gonna invite Travis and the family over for Thanksgiving. Okay, the Barthwick family. We're gonna have Thanksgiving with you guys. He's just been stuck in the neckbeard division. What are you gonna do? All right, so Dustin Poirier. Okay, listen. I have goofed on Dustin Poirier before, you know, especially with the lead ups to the Conor fights and this and that. I'm completely transparent, you guys. I am not a Dustin Poirier fan, like per se. I'm not going to say, oh my God, Dustin Poirier. You know, like if I met him or if I did interview him, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, this is great. You know, like he's a regular guy. He's a G. I kind of feel like him. Like I feel like Cowboy Cerrone, you know, like just a badass in the sport. I respect him. You can argue the Hall of Fame for Dustin. He at least won the interim strap and redeemed his losses. The Conor thing was badass. It really was. Like how he handled Conor McGregor was pretty savage. Beating Saint Denis, a fight he should have never taken. And we're going to still find out about Saint Denis. Like, what is he made of? If Saint Denis charges through the rankings again and slaughtering people like he was before, becomes a champion, is the real deal, then that looks really good, that win against Saint Denis. But, like, Gaethje head kicked him and said, I'm going to redeem my loss against you. The rear naked choke with Michael Chandler. People forget he was getting fucked up in that first. Like, Michael Chandler almost beat him in the first round. You know, this happened round 3, and he did get the win, Poirier. But I'm telling you right now, if Michael Chandler stuck to the game plan, which he didn't, and I know he's kicking himself in the ass in this fight, if Michael Chandler stuck to that game plan and just grapple fucked the shit out of him, he would have beaten Poirier. Poirier gets broken, even though Poirier's got the gilly, and he's a BJJ guy, and he's a black belt, and all that jive. We've seen the wrestlers fuck him up. We saw Michael Chandler, what he did in that first round, and then he just evacuated. He just said, fuck the game plan, let's put on a show. Okay? He could have lost his fight. He came back, he had heart, he won. It was a fantastic fight as a fan, but I'm talking about this overrated. Okay? And listen, I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I know there's a lot of hardcore DP fans out there, but just hear me out on this. I do too. His legacy is at stake, and yeah, Ryan Garcia and you can't afford me and my family, even though I'm I'm off probation, but I got to gaggle. Okay, I got you. Thank you, Travis. Thank you. Okay, I probably can't. Yeah, it's a lot of kids, man. It's a lot of kids to feed. All right, fine. Forget it. It's off. So Michael Chandler, he does get the win off of him, but you heard that story. He got fucking choked out by Charlie Olives, and then here's a redeemable fight against Conor McGregor. Listen. I'm a big Conor McGregor guy, but you can make that argument. We had nice guy Conor over here. Let me try your hot sauce, the bald head, dragging the family around Conor McGregor, and McGregor finishes him there. That wasn't even Conor. Like, we didn't even know. We were basically like, who the fuck is that guy? Who remembers that Conor McGregor that showed up at that fight? I remember saying the whole time, I don't like this, the no trash talk, dragging his family around. He's doing interviews and his kids are like tugging on his ear. Go back and watch the interviews lead up to this fight. And I was yelling and screaming online like, what the fuck is going on, man? We don't want family man Conor. We want Savage Conor. And then when Savage Conor comes back, motherfucker has a freak injury. Doctor stoppage. Your wife is in me DMs. Bizarre situation. Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker was beating the fuck out of him. Great fight, by the way. But Dan Hangman Hooker, who's a savage in his own right, guy that got ran through by Michael Chandler in the first round. Dustin Poirier had problems with that guy. Okay? Khabib Nurmagomedov title shot. Dustin was broken man. Now, Max Holloway, okay. If you're looking at everything that's going on here, up and down, you're looking at everything that's going on here, you look at Max Blessed, Hall of Famer lock. Max Holloway runs it back. Second time, and Poirier gets the unanimous decision on him. Poirier looked good. Poirier had moments, though. Little sus moments, but Poirier gets the unanimous decision over here. I got to be honest with you. This Max Holloway right now, that we see right now, the one that won the BMF belt against a man named Justin Gaethje, I think this Max Holloway beats Poirier at this stage of the game. But Poirier does have 2 wins over him, and that's respectable. Eddie Alvarez is a real weird thing because there was 2 fights. You had the no contest. By the way, this fight over here, this no contest, Eddie was fucking doing pretty decent. Okay, he could have came back and won. He got fucked up by Poirier. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Eddie's a savage, and I'm going to give him respect for that. A former champion, the whole deal. Yes, okay. Badass fights. Got 2 finishes on Eddie Alvarez. Okay. Does Eddie beat the Khabibs? No. Did he beat Conor? No. Michael Chandler had great wars with him. Whatever. Eddie's a G. Fun fights. Great stuff. As a fan, watch those fights. Phenomenal, right? Anthony Pettis, former champion. I got to be honest with you. Anthony Pettis was so up and down with me. Like sometimes he looks phenomenal. Other times he looked like horse shit. Whether it was injuries or it was not. Not the biggest Anthony Pettis fan, but former champion. Got the injury. And finished Anthony Pettis over there. You beat Justin Gaethje over here. That was a banger of a fight. Justin Gaethje, we're still wondering what's up with Gaethje. Every time you think Gaethje is in the rhythm and in a role to become champion, he fumbles the bag. He just lost his BMF belt to Max Holloway. Got finished. So, like, you see where I'm going here? Great fights, warrior. I will say it, put him in the fucking Hall of Fame, right? Put him in the Hall of Fame. Put him in there. I know he never won the real belt, but he did win the interim strap. And you look at his resume, I mean, so many fun fights to watch. So I'm not trying to say that he's a bum. That's not what I'm saying here. Okay? What I'm saying is he's overrated. Like when you talk champion caliber fighters, like champions are just on another level. They do everything they have to do to become the undisputed champion. And Dustin Poirier kind of falls into that gatekeeper, which is a respectable fighter. And gatekeeper is like a term where you throw that out there, it doesn't sound good, but in Dustin Poirier's case, it is good. Dustin was at the top of the game for such a long time. He was rocking head rush back in the day. 2 weight classes doing his thing. Just never could get over the hump. Then you got the Bobby Green fight. You got Joe Duffy, Medeiros, Ferreira. I mean, you got fun fights all along the way. And notable wins. The 2 on Max Holloway. I mean, listen, he had some career. But the reason why I say overrated is because you can't put him in a category of a champion. He's not a champion. He's not. So if you're not a champion, but people put you on that high pedestal with the champions, well, wouldn't that make you overrated? Let me know in the chat what you think about the diamond over here. Listen, Nate Diaz, not a champion? G. Fucking G, man. And he hasn't even accomplished nearly what Dustin has. Gatekeeper of the top 3 ain't bad. No, not at all. I agree. So, like, I hope I articulated that in a way where you understand, listen, he's a fun fighter. He's not even a BMF. He's not even a BMF. He can't. Dustin Poirier can't even be a BMF. You can't even be the baddest motherfucker. You can't be the undisputed champ of the baddest motherfucker. Think about this. Think about it. I mean, come on. A series of chokes. Just choke and choke. And now Hall of Famer, yeah, put him in the Hall of Fame. Sure. I don't really truly think you should put a Hall of Famer in that, a guy that hasn't won the undisputed belt. But Dustin make an exception, sure. You would, the interim, whatever. Never won a belt, really. I mean, an interim strap is not a real belt. I mean, BMF's not a real belt either. Couldn't win that. So, yes, real fun fighter, beast, overrated. I'm just going to say it. But I've been saying this for a while. I've been waiting for this opportunity. I've been waiting because if he beat Islam Makhachev, okay. All right. You beat Islam Makhachev, everything I say goes right out the fucking window. You did it. You closed the story. Champions finish the story. When Conor McGregor came into the UFC, he says, I'm going to be not 1 champ, I'm going to be 2 champs. And he did it. The problem with Conor McGregor is he's going on too far. He should have won the second belt against Eddie and then said, see, I got the bag. I'm going to go make some movies now. But he didn't. The man started boxing and doing whatever the fuck. Like, he went out of control, Conor. but he won the belt. He said it. He did it. Dustin Poirier was running around in this lead up against Islam Makhachev and said, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out. Right? I'm going to knock. No, you didn't. It didn't happen. And it's a shame, man. It is a shame. I'm not trying to knock Dustin Poirier. I'm not trying to shit on my man over here. I'm just saying he's overrated. That's it. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Tetra Nova, thank you for the $2 donation. He says, that's elitist BS. His belt's real, for fuck's sake. You're saying hate to break it to you, Tetra Nova. Thank you for the $2. An interim strap means jack shit, because why doesn't anyone consider Conor McGregor's interim strap anything? Think about it. Do you guys know that Conor won an interim strap? You guys remember that? No one talks about it. You know why? It's not a real belt. It's not. Not even Conor talks about it. Think about it. An interim strap is a joke belt to sell pay-per-views. That's it. It looks like the real belt. It's not it. The interim strap should be a different color. It should look completely different than the undisputed belt. There you go. When did he win that? See? Exactly. And think about it. Think about it. You're saying he's overrated because, no, I just literally gave you facts about Dustin Poirier. Facts. Never. 3 times fighting for the belt, he got choked out. All 3 times. Someone that is an undisputed champion that gets up there. I don't care how they get there. If they get there. If they get to that the highest of levels, there's not much you can say. But unfortunately, in Dustin Poirier's case, he couldn't. And I'm telling you, man, no matter how you sugarcoat Dustin Poirier's career, hopefully he does get into the Hall of Fame because he deserves it. He does. This guy, what he has done, his resume. But the problem is this. If you put Dustin Poirier in the Hall of Fame, then that opens the door to other guys that never won the undisputed belt. You'd be like, well, if Dustin's in there, why not put this guy in there? Why not put that guy in there? And then the Hall of Fame is cluttered with gatekeepers. Think about that. All right? You open the door to Dustin Poirier. You put him in the Hall of Fame. The whole fucking, you just open the floodgates to gatekeepers. Do you want that to happen? I mean, it really doesn't mean anything to us, right? You just want your favorite fighter to wear that fun jacket. But you're just going to open that door. So does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Listen, as a fan, I'd like to see it. But the answer is probably no. You know? It's probably no. NHL Hall of Fame, you want to put him in there? All right, so that's my conversation on Dustin Poirier. I want to transfer the momentum over to... And if you're just jumping in, by the way, there's some seriously concerning news about Conor McGregor here. With the tweet that he put out, I'm giving it a 50-50 shot that he fights at the end of the month. Hopefully, I'm completely wrong. 100% he fights at the end of the month just for the buzz. I would love to lead up into a Conor fight and have a lot of fun with that. But unfortunately, from the information that we distributed earlier into the stream, it's not looking good. Eric, thank you for the $1.99. He says, Cowboy getting in already opened that door. I tell you what, man. I tell you what. Cowboy's a badass. He's another one. Does not deserve to be in there. Is Cowboy overrated? Yes. Yes. Cowboy, listen, the thing that was great about Cowboy Cerrone, he said, hey, listen, anytime, any day, short notice, I am there. Cowboy was the fucking shit. If a fighter pulled out, Cowboy's like, yo, send me the contract. And he would make the walk. Badass. Complete badass. Maybe you should have a side Hall of Fame. Have a gatekeeper. Have the gatekeeper Hall of Fame. Like you have interim straps. Have the fucking children's table. You know, have the adults table. Have the adult section. And then have the kids table. Where all the fucking gatekeepers can sit. Maybe give them a different color jacket. And let them sit over there. Maybe let them do that. I don't know. Call me crazy. But anyway, let's move on over. Move on over to Islam Makhachev, okay? What do you guys think of Islam from his performance? Do you think, okay, hey, we saw a guy that bled. We didn't see that with Khabib. He's beatable. Were you very impressed by his performance? Is he the GOAT? Is he the guy right now? Is he the boogeyman? Do you believe in him? Do you think he should move up a weight class and fight at 170? It sounds like Bilal Muhammad wants no part of that. What do you think of Makhachev? I know a lot of people don't like Islam. And, from segueing from my thing with Poirier, and like I said, I'm not trying to hate on Poirier. I'm just saying this. I'm just trying to be real with Dustin Poirier and give you the information, his resume, what he's done, and is he what everyone really thinks he is. Now, Makhachev, well, not only is he a champ, he's defended, he's dominated. At times, he's looked unbeatable. At times, you're like, well, hold on, maybe he didn't win that fight. He's been knocked out earlier in his career. But here he is. How many fight win streak now? Islam goes 26-1-0. And that was that one knockout. He hasn't lost a fight since 2015. He beat Chris Wade, who's in PFL, Nick Lentz, T-Bow, Kajan Johnson. What the fuck?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Sarukian. Make all the excuses you want. He did beat Arman, and Arman's on a crash course for a title. Probably fought him at the right time, but I tell you what, it's eventually going to rematch. But he did win. Drew Dober, Thiago Moises, Dan Hooker ran fucking through. Bobby Green ran fucking through like nothing. Charles Oliveira, he choked out in the second round. I got to be honest with you, he ran through Charlie Olives. He did. Volkanovski, very tough fight. Went the distance. Some say Volkanovski won. Listen, we have Mike Goldberg in the building. We all thought Islam won that fight. All three of us thought it. When I watched the replay, I thought Islam won that fight. But credit to Volkanovski, man. He shocked the fucking hell out of me in that fight. And then what happens? Short notice, off the couch. Volk comes in there. Fuck it, I'll take a swing for the fences, and gets annihilated. Islam just runs through him. Dustin Poirier happened Saturday night. He was destroying Dustin Poirier in the first round. And then all of a sudden, looked like the mouth was dropping open a little bit, and Dustin was having his moments. It became a competitive fight. Fifth round comes out there. Honestly, Islam could have coasted, and he still would have won because of the scorecards. When you saw that, it was in favor of Islam. But he didn't. He went in there, exhausted, and fucking finished the diamond. And not only are you a champion, you defend yourself, but then you finish your opponents in spectacular fashion. Even deep into a fight, fifth round, you could still have the heart to finish a guy like Dustin Poirier, who, let's be honest, does have heart. There's no doubt about it. You can't deny. You could deny the fact that he's not a champion. He can't get over that hump, whatever. But he does have a heart. He's a fighter. He's a solid fucking fighter. And when you go late in a fight with Dustin Poirier, to finish him late, you can finish him first round, second round. If you go late into the fifth round, take out Dustin Poirier, that's very impressive considering how conditioned this man is. In a great gym. And he finished him there. And then we find out the staph infection with Islam Makhachev was true, and he couldn't be throwing kicks. Apparently that was a thing. Listen, excuses. You sign the contract, you show up, it doesn't fucking matter. But if you want to add that to the equation and still got the finish, it's pretty impressive. When you have staph, apparently you get tired. We saw it with that guy, Saint Denis. Saint Denis got gassed real quick. He had staph. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I have no idea how that works. But he went in there, got the finish. And now, unlike Khabib, he's saying, I want to go up. I'll fight the winner of Leon and Bilal. Bilal says he's not down with that. Let's see. Bilal's kind of like, I'm not down with that. Listen to this. So this was on a championship rounds. I don't know who this is, but hold on.
Islam had talked about being a two-division champ. I assume you guys would never actually fight.
Yeah, I would never fight him 100%. But honestly, he could go up to 185 and beat Duplessis right now.
Is he running from Islam? No, listen, I understand. You got the same thing going on. You're kneeling on the rug, and you got the same God, the same this, the same that, whatever. And I like Bilal Muhammad. He follows us on Twitter, so shout out to Bilal. I hope he beats Leon Edwards. But if he beats Leon Edwards, he's not willing to fight Islam. What? And then, now he's saying he can go up to 185. Is he scared of Islam? Is it his boy? Is he scared? Like, what's happening here? Wait, what's going on?
I know for the longest time Islam had talked about being a 2-division champ.
Why is this guy talking like
I assume you
I'm talking like I got a cock in my ass or maybe lodged in my throat?
guys would never actually fight.
Yeah, I would never fight him 100%. But honestly, he can go up to 185 and beat Duplessis right now. I think he's that good, really. I think he can go up.
He can go up to 185 and beat Duplessis. Whoa. Maybe. I don't know. I think Islam's the real deal. I really do. I do. He goes up, wins another belt. That's it. Khabib, you're old news. Is he running from Islam? What's happening?
there and be that 2-division champ, skip over 170 for a little bit. Let me beat a couple of these younger guys, and then I'll go up to 185, bro. He has plenty of time, man. He's dominating these fights. He's winning easily. You know, I think he's going to continue on that path of just being dominant champion. So he's got plenty of years left. Like he tweeted out or said something about it recently in an interview.
Yeah, well, that's what he's saying. Islam, this is another thing. He's not retiring anytime soon, which I respect. I hope he stays active, you know, because it was a little bit of a break there, but I hope he stays active. If he defends at 155, he goes up to 170, snatches that belt, goes back down, defends. I mean, Jesus Christ, we might be talking the greatest of all time, Islam. You know, something that Khabib could have been. Like if Khabib stuck around, I mean, he could have been one of the greatest fighters of all time. There would be no, and you know, you got that pound for pound GOAT nonsense conversation. Everyone could be throwing names around. But Khabib would be high on the list if he stuck around. But Bilal Muhammad wins the belt and then says, I don't want to fight Islam. Islam wants to fight at one. Like, what do you do? What happens here? It seems like Dana White's not very interested in Islam going up right now, which is interesting to me. I'm not sure why that is.
You're saying like, yeah, I'm still hungry. I'm still here. So I think he got a long time to go.
I know for the longest time.
Okay. So basically Bilal doesn't want that smoke, okay? Well, he's got his hands full already. So it's either respect, which it probably is. I mean, listen, I think Bilal's an all right dude, honestly. He gets a lot of heat. He leans into it. He's the bad guy right now. But I don't know. It's weird. They're managed by the same people too. But Islam's kind of like, I want to fight for that belt. He doesn't give a shit. Islam will fight Bilal. Islam has no problem with fighting Bilal. But then again, Islam's training with Bilal. So maybe these guys on the mats are like, maybe Bilal's like, I don't want the smoke. Maybe. It's possible. I agree that Islam is better, but Khabib never lost. Listen, fair. But even when Islam was on the rise, Khabib and his father were saying, hey, this guy's hands are way better than Khabib's. Islam is crazy because Islam, he's got the wrestling, but he's got the jiu-jitsu too. My man's going for arm bars and shit. You know? Like this dude's got so many weapons. And his striking is like light years better. I mean, this guy's throwing up head kicks and fucking, like the way he outboxed Dustin, like he out-significantly struck Dustin. You're not going to see Khabib, like Khabib had that jab that got progressively better. But I mean, that was it. Like Khabib would like bull rush and like try to scoop up your legs and hump the fuck out of you and try to kill you, you know? Like Islam's he's got a whole arsenal of weapons. I don't want to be the Islam dick rider. I know a lot of people are going to be hitting me up in like, oh, you're such a dick. But it just makes me proud that I knew right from the fucking beginning that this guy was the real deal. It's nice to see it pan out. Every once in a while, you hit one that just fucking pans out. This guy is a stud, man. And his sense of humor is coming through. So on the mic, you're seeing it. There's compilations. People are DMing me like these compilations of Islam just being funny. He's a funny dude. So this guy is going to be good on the mic. Listen, is he going to be Conor? No one's going to be Conor. He's not going to be fucking yelling all this crazy shit like Colby Covington or any, Chael Sonnen. But for a neckbeard, this guy's probably the most interesting. I mean, Hamza Chimaev is the other guy, but he don't fight. So does he count? I don't know. Islam's the real deal, man. I'm an American saying this. You know? I'm a traitor to my country right now, but I got to be honest with you, just as a combat sports fan, this is a treat. Cherish this. Cherish Islam Makhachev because this is a delight. We need this right now. I don't want to see people humped all the time, but this dude's finishing people, and he could stand and bang. So, yes, I'm on board. Fight for double champ status. Go back down. I don't know. Go up to 185 like Bilal says. Be a triple champ. Do everything that Khabib didn't do. Thank you. Because as a guy that's, been caught on stream a couple of times shitting on Khabib. And listen, I shat on Dustin a bunch of times. I shat on Khabib a lot of times. But Islam Makhachev, I'm not shitting on this guy. This guy's the real deal. I'm a fan of Islam Makhachev. Let me know in the chat what you think, and maybe we'll open up some phone lines. What do you say? He's definitely exciting for a neckbeard. Yeah, think about it. Like Merab Dvalishvili or guys like, like when you see these other dudes out there and they're just constantly grappling, it's like, all right, enough. I get it. You speak the truth that we're here. Listen, like you've heard me. I will, if there's a fan favorite, I will tell you exactly the evidence. I will give you stats. I will give you, past situations to tell you, hey, maybe this is not the person you think they are. I have no problem doing that. And it's not just me being a hater or anything like that. It's just me trying to give you guys all the information. You make your own decisions. You could still be a fan or still have your thoughts. I'm just the messenger. Let's see. T-Bow didn't shit, even with his steroids. Hump to finish. Yeah, Carl division wasn't that deep at the time. Yeah, Khabib's run up too. If you're comparing it, I think Islam had a tougher run up, to be honest, than Khabib. Khabib, he fucking beat Ally Quinta to win the belt. Like, come on, dude. Like, what the fuck? It's not the same. This is not the same. But Khabib, when he was the champion, was so much fun to watch. I will give that. I'm here. Hold on. I'm a hater of everyone in lightweight division besides Oliveira. Fair. That is fair. Listen, how do you not like Charles Oliveira? I will never say Charles is overrated. And I've picked, Islam against Charles. But most of the time I'll pick Charles. I did pick Armin, which I was so reluctant to do, but I just had a feeling he had his number. But I like Charles. I'm a fan of Charles. And he won. Dude, Charles' story is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So I like him. I just wish he would learn English. That's the only negative I would throw at Oliveira. Oliveira's still my guy in the division. Yo, if Charles Oliveira learned English, we're talking superstar. We're talking such a fan favorite. Think about all the fans he has that can't even understand what he says. I wish he would, but it's not easy. Would Khabib have lost if he kept on going? 100%, Boobo. 100%. Why do you think Khabib didn't move up to 170? I'm not saying it's like he couldn't. This guy's talking about fighting GSP and shit like that. He didn't want that smoke. He didn't want that fucking smoke. I know he's talking about his mom told him to retire. He was never going up to 170. And that's fair. Like, I'm not even going to call him a weight bully because we see, like, Conor McGregor, what he did. If he was able to stay at 145, no one beats him. You know what I'm saying? You see these guys, like, Joaquin Buckley's a perfect example. Joaquin Buckley at 170 looks phenomenal. And he says, he goes, there's no one that could beat me at 170 right now. And I'm starting to believe Joaquin Buckley. I'm starting to become a believer. But when you move up, and you're fighting these bigger guys, a whole different story. Khabib staying at 155, there may have not been a man on this earth that could have beat him. It's very possible, but we will never know. But what we do know is Khabib never wanted the 170 smoke. He never wanted that. I'm not going to criticize him for that. But if we're talking this pound for pound nonsense and all that stupid shit, you can't put him anywhere. He didn't even think about it. All right, let's open up some phone lines. Lord of the Pies is falling asleep. He must be a Dustin fan. UFC is way too soy nowadays. That's why Sean Strickland was told to go wild. Yeah, would you guys... All right, actually, let me talk briefly about some of the other fights, and then we're going to open up the phone line. So I'm going to drop a link in the chat. We'll take some quick calls over here, and we will talk to the people about what you thought about the card this weekend. And let's talk about Conor, man. I want to know, do you think he's going to fight at 303? So that's going to be coming up next. But Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa, okay? Listen, another fucking overrated bum, Paulo Costa. I'm just going to fucking say it. I've been saying this since the very beginning. As he rose up, never, ever thought anything of Paulo Costa. The only time I was scared of Paulo was when he fought Johnny Hendricks. That's why I was like, why are they doing that? That's craziness. You know what I'm saying? But in this fight, the lead up to Sean Strickland, it pained me. If you watch Fuko Friday, it fucking pained me to make that bet on Paulo Costa. I literally felt like I was burning money because we knew what was going to happen. And people are online shitting on Sean Strickland for the way he fought. That's the way he fights. He fights, he does that weird, slapping and leg up shit defense. He plays defense and just keeps walking forward. And people are shitting on that. That's him. That's what he does. You know what Paulo Costa does these days? Nothing. Nothing. He just talks about secret juice and complains when he loses fights. Check this out. And I don't hate Paulo as a person, but you're forcing me to say negative things about Paulo Costa. Forcing me. So there's him. Oh, I didn't see this. What's this? Hold on. We'll get to that in a second. So what did he release? All right, here we go. So this is one of the things he released afterwards. Here we go.
I just came to say a few words. Yeah, Sean won. I did perform very well. I think he didn't either, but at least he did enough to win, right?
So low.
This is two losses in a row in 3 fights. 3 former champs. Look how cold.
Since 2012.
Did he say?
Fight of the.
Shut up, Dana. Did he say Luke Cuckold? Is that what he just said? It sounded like he said Luke Cuckold. Yeah, put it up. I don't know why it's so low.
But at least he did enough to win, right? This is two losses in a row in 3 fights. 3 former champs. Luke Rockhold, Whitaker, and Sean. I won.
Luke Rockhold, Whitaker, and Sean. 3 champions.
1 and lost 2.
Luke Cuckold.
But I will tell something. I agree with Dana and Joe Rogan. And I will do that. I will bring back that Paulo to take heads off.
I agree with Dana and Joe Rogan and everyone on the internet. What was the thing we were screaming about? Like, if you watch the replay of us reacting to his fight with Sean, it's just infuriating to watch. If you're a Paulo Costa fan, you must be infuriated because there was a guy that used to walk down people. That's all he did, like a mongoloid. He would just walk forward and try to take your head off. That guy is gone. Like, he's just completely gone. He's not there anymore. It's like, what happened to that dude? I know it's risky, but Jesus.
To finish the fight. I'm not that kind of content. Sorry, I'm not that kind of content guy.
Blind Beauty fell asleep during that fight. I mean, I don't blame you. It was, listen, I'm gonna say this and I like Sean Strickland, but let's be honest. He could possibly be one of the most boring fighters to watch. Seriously. But do I want him to be champ? For some reason, yes. I guess because of the press conferences, I like him. I think he's funny. But my goodness, I don't think we've ever seen a fighter. I don't think we've ever seen a fighter that was so entertaining on the mic and sucked in the cage. Colby Covington close. But even Colby, I'm going to say it, Colby is even more entertaining than Sean Strickland. Because at least you got those Kamaru Usman fights. You know? Sean's fights are rough, man. They're rough. You go to the bathroom, you miss nothing.
I do better move forward and try to finish and look for heads. Sean is so awkward, so different kind of fighter to fight.
Strickland wasn't boring when he beat the fuck out of Izzy for 5 rounds. Listen, that was satisfying. But would you watch that fight again? I mean, if you hate Izzy, yes, you would watch that fight again, right? But Sean was doing the same fucking thing until the final round where he started screaming in his face, come on! You know, like, my dad beats me. Like, he went nuts at the very end. But that fight is not watchable. It was a one-sided fight where Sean used defense for offense. And, I mean, it's just like, listen, okay, I will say this. If you're a fight fan, right? If you're someone that's a fan of technique, watching Sean is fascinating how his defense becomes so complicated for his opponents. So in that aspect, yes, I get it. And me doing this show, I can find the enjoyment in that fight. But if I was just the guy, come on, Jack. If I was just the guy, just a fan that watched that fight, any Sean Strickland fight, I'd be like, no, I'm not interested. I'm talking about like just the everyday fan. Now, if you are a super fight fan or if you're a fighter, you're a guy that trains or whatever, and you see that technique, it is fascinating to watch. Yes. But you can't just say as a fan, that's great. Sean Strickland's fun. Everything but the fight is fun. Even Sean Strickland is disappointed. So this is why I can say this. You think Sean was happy with his performance? Do you think that? Do you think Sean Strickland was happy with his performance? Because he physically said after this fight, after the DDP fight, he blames other people that they didn't go forward. But at the end of the day, I mean, you know, you got to do something too. He's disappointed with his performances. Why do you think that? He's even on record saying that he can't knock anyone out. I guess I don't hit hard. Like, Sean said these things. He's real, and that's why I like Sean. So for us to say that Sean is boring, if we said that to Sean's face, Sean would agree. He would agree, guys. I'm telling you right now, Sean's a real dude. He's a real fucking dude. So I'm not saying this is a hater of Sean Strickland. I'm a fan of Sean Strickland, but let's be real. Fucking boring.
Fight against is difficult. He was keeping me, pushing me, keep pushing me, keep me far from him. Because he knows the power that I have. And I have the power, so I need to deliver that. And I will do that. I won't give a fuck.
Well, Paolo, where was that? I mean, every time we watch you fight now, it's that. Don't give a fuck anymore. There's really, you know what I'm saying? And by the way, Chris Curtis is throwing his name in the hat to fight him. Make it fucking happen. Make it happen. Chris Curtis versus Paulo Costa. Take my money. Make it happen. Sean's buddy. Go in there and fight fucking Paulo Costa. Yes. Yes.
For points or advantage or focus, anything about that. I came to take heads off. And this is who I am. This is a kind of fight that I am. And
even Paulo here is boring.
I said that people expect that I perform. So I will do that. Fuck points. I'm enough of this. Even the first round that I was 100% sure that I won, some people thought I lost. Fuck them.
Dude, you gotta be kidding me, man. Did you see those scorecards, bro? One, I don't know why one went your way. By the way, I was going to make a video. I didn't have time. I got to go to the doctor tomorrow. There's a whole bunch of things going on here. We got a lot behind the scenes happening. So I couldn't make a video. So I was like, let's go live. And maybe the live streams are back on Monday. Do you want it? You want the live? One's in the chat. If you want the live streams back for Monday night, let me know because I feel good right now. I feel good. You guys have donated. You supported the show. You hit the like button. If you didn't hit the like button, what the fuck? But if you want, I can't do members because I'm going to be at the doctor, unfortunately. I can't. But we do have a live tonight, so that's happening. And we'll be back on Gummy Gang very soon as well. All right, so there's Paulo Costa giving excuses. The judge that scored in his favor, we showed it the night of. I'll show it again real quick over here for those that didn't see. Like, lunacy. And this is not the only fight. Apparently, this guy has done this for another fight on the card as well. I couldn't freaking believe it. So here's Makhachev's. Hey, thank you, Free to Chill, for the super chat. Says, do you think Tyson-Jake Paul will happen? I got to be honest with you, no. I don't. I don't think it's going to happen. I've been watching, keeping my eye on that, and I tell you what, Jake versus Logan Paul, make that happen. Make the brothers fight each other. Then you'll have my interest. But no, or I guess people want to see KSI. I don't think Tyson's fighting him. I don't. It doesn't seem likely. Especially if you had I mean, this is like AT&T Stadium. This is on Netflix. If it gets canceled once, do you think they're going to redo it? I mean, maybe. But I think that ship has sailed, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Dave Torelli scorecard. The first 4 rounds. He went Paulo Costa. And then the final round he gave to Sean Strickland when Sean Strickland became a ninja. Dana White said it. We said it on the live stream when we were reacting, when they were doing the decisions, and they said split decision. We were shocked, like literally jaw-dropping. This could possibly be one of the worst scorecards I've ever seen in my life. This is nuts. This is like straight up insanity. And apparently there was another card, another one where Dave was on, a fight that Dave was on this card that he went the other direction as well, and I don't know what he was watching. I mean, no clue. Didn't realize you were live. Got so used to you not streaming on Mondays. Well, here we are. What fight was he watching? Right, Jay? I mean, like, dude, that's crazy. So, Dana said his thing, I don't think anyone in their right mind thought Paulo Costa won that fight. I mean, Paulo did nothing. Let me look at the, I didn't look at the strike differential. Let's see. So, here we go. Paulo actually outstruck Sean in the first round. Even significant strikes. So, if you just go by the numbers, you might say Paulo won that round there. Then he outstruck Sean in the second one, too. Even with significant strikes. Hold on. Maybe he was right. Third round was more Sean, 45-34. Round 4, that was Sean, 39-29. So, if you just go by... If you just go by these, unofficial striking score, whatever, You got a split fight going into the fifth. And then the fifth round, clearly Sean won that. Let me see. Was there a split here? No. Look at this. Like Sal D'Amato, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sean, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chris Lee. I don't think anyone thought that because, like I said, this is why when you look at just the numbers, you can have it cater to your argument, but it's so much different than actually watching the fight. It's not the same. It's definitely not the same. So this is a perfect example of that. There's your overall strikes. If you could see, it's very tiny. But anyway, that's Paulo Costa and Sean Strickland. Let's open up the phone lines and then wrap this shit up. Guys, call the show. We want to talk to the people. This is your chance to get on the MMA-Holes and talk about the big story, the story that's all over the news, Conor McGregor. Canceled. I want to hear your theories. I spoke about my theories, but let's go. Oh, is it the Mitch Raposo fight? Hold on, it could have been. That was the one? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he went Raposo. You're correct. Ninja Choke, you're correct. Thank you so much. Mitch Raposo. All right, let's open up the phone lines real quick. So we're going to try to make this as quick as possible, okay? Quick phone lines, and then we're going to get out of here. But how we do this is I'm going to put a link in the chat. Invite. Okay. Here's our link. If you already have the link that we always put in here, then just hit the link and call. But here we go. This is to call the show. And the big story, of course, Conor McGregor. The press conference canceled. Will he fight at UFC 303? What is the thoughts? What's the conspiracies? What's the whatever? Okay, call the show. Call the show. Okay, here we go. And this is all because of the donations that came in. I truly appreciate when you guys support the show that way. It's the only way we stay alive. So thank you so much for doing that. And if you have not checked out our brand new website that hit, the best pick'em league in the world, UFC Pick'em League, we got our own called Goat Milk. Check it out, MMA-Holes.tv, MMA-Holes.tv, and come on over to Goat Milk. We have 200. Check this out, guys. I was going down the rabbit hole last night. Like I was kind of like creeping around and seeing everyone's predictions and stuff. Like you can click on it. You can see the percentage. Look at this, a whopping 83% over here. Phenomenal. I mean, I'm going to gloat about that because it's only one fight. But you can go on it and you can see the picks. Click on the picks. You can go to every event that they picked on. I mean, it's jam-packed with information. Wait until we have more events on here, like when we're doing more picks. This is just going to load up, and you're going to be able to see all the events, that how everyone did on Goat Milk. You can follow the people that you like. You can block people if you don't like them. You can do whatever the hell you want. And we got a bunch of updates that we're going to be loading up on this website as well. So this is just bare bones. This is not even close to what we got planned for you guys. So in the works, we have other things happening as we speak. But go on over. If you can't put a profile picture up, it's because the file size is just a little too big. So shrink that file and get your GIF, your JPEG, whatever, and go follow each other. Let's see who has the most followers on MMAHoles.tv. All right. Let's see what we got here. We got, Kevin from Chicago. Welcome to the MMA Holes Live.
UFC's losing the luster.
Uh-oh.
It's just not the same, brother.
What?
It's not the same.
Okay, what did you like?
I don't know what it is, Moss. I don't know what it is, man. It just, I don't know if it's Dustin Poirier who's fighting for the title. We just seen him get knocked out 6 months ago. I mean, it just one after the other where I can go up and down. You got Alex Pereira, who's never fought a wrestler, somehow is defending his championship time after time. It's just, you go up and down the line. None of these guys, man, they just don't do it. They just don't do it for me, you know?
Well, yeah, you know what? Listen, I was excited about 302, but let's be serious. The card wasn't good. The prelims were terrible. The main card got a little bit better, but like in watching it back and thinking back about it, it's not something I would go back and watch. It fell short.
Trash.
Yeah.
And then we got to look forward to Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. I mean, Michael Chandler, I like him. He's a good fighter, but he's a 500 fighter. It's all excitement.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, he can beat anybody on any given day, but he also gets beat on any given day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the problem with Michael Chandler. And Conor McGregor, he's just not in his prime anymore, man. He's washed. No offense to Conor McGregor either, but it all goes downhill eventually. So this is the problem, man. The UFC got to get their shit together because they're just falling off big time, man. Maybe the casuals they're building, but to the hardcores who know what their shit, they know. And then they want to do Nick Diaz. They're bringing Nick Diaz back. Like that's going to do something. It's just a joke, man. It's really getting bad.
Okay. So are you interested in the Saudi Arabia, the Whitaker Chimaev at all?
Whitaker Chimaev.
It's a banger card.
That actually is a good card. That is a good card. Now that I'm thinking about it, what are some other big fights in that card?
So it's co-mained by Volkov and Pavlovich. So Russia versus Russia. You got Johnny Walker versus Ozdemir. The return of Kelvin Gastelum against Daniel Rodriguez. You got that guy Shara Magomedov, that dude that has the weird eyes, that creepy caveman-looking dude. Muhammad Naimov. You got a lot of the neckbeardish things going on here. But you got the Basharat kid that's very good against Montel Jackson. Zaitar versus Tulian. That guy Renat. I can never say his name, but he's against.
Moicano.
You got a solid card, man. This card is pretty legit.
That's actually pretty decent. That might be a good one.
Yeah. And it's free.
I'm looking more forward to the fucking NBA finals coming up. That's what piqued my interest. You got Luka Doncic versus Jason Tatum. Okay. That's fireworks, bro. They're both in their prime. They're both box office. That is how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
They're both at the top of their game.
Who?
They both got the start power.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about NBA, baby. We're talking about.
Right. What the fuck is he? He's talking about NBA. Who the fuck watches basketball? I haven't watched basketball in years, but my team is terrible, in fairness. The fuck he starts talking about basketball? Ronan, welcome to the MMA-Holes Live. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Ronan. I'm sorry. I'm Ronan. My bad. Hey, Chris. How's it going?
I'm doing well, man. Don't worry, the camera's not on live,
thanks.
so yeah, you're good. It's just gonna be audio.
I appreciate that. I'm not that handsome.
Okay.
Well, I'm not your kind of handsome. Let's say that.
Oh, thank you. So
anyway,
what's going on?
You were saying what kind of prediction you have, or what might happen with Conor McGregor. I mean, obviously, D. Devlin I think that's his wife's name, is really, quite pretty, and he has quite a few kids. I don't know how many kids Conor has right now.
Man, he's got to be like on 5 or something now. Like he's like a rabbit. You think it's a kid thing?
Right?
What's that?
But maybe that's why the press conference got held up. He was just too busy trying to impregnate D again. I feel like she just got done having the 5th one, and the factory's open again.
Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, they are seen. They're seen in public. Well, I don't know when these pictures are taken, but they are seen in public. They're embracing each other. They're madly in love, even though Conor's coked up in bathrooms with other women too, and he's caught with other women in pictures. But yeah, who knows what's going on? I mean, maybe, I don't know.
It's true. She looks really, quite, she's very much in love, I guess, still. But yeah, it's a high possibility. Other than that, I mean, I can't expect it being Chandler's fault. I feel like he'd be already in Ireland a few days before sightseeing with the boys, as risky as that might be.
It's funny. Someone made a comment how all the videos that have popped up of him in the club dancing, not one has him with drinks in his hand, which is very interesting.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
The other thing that people noticed was one had a huge beard and one didn't, but I'm like, he could have just shaved and then gone to the, the club.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. The whole thing's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to go with the theory that he is definitely doing a Ryan Garcia on us, where it's kind of like, trying to lead everyone in a different direction, have people talk about him, this and that. I mean, he's got Dee's head. He's putting her head down to his crotch and shit like that. Real gentleman,
yeah.
But yeah, I think he wants people talking about it.
Something about caviar, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. The yacht with caviar, the whole deal. So, but it is concerning though, like the tweet that he put out. I mean, it's a little weird. He says he's going to be back to the octagon. Nothing about 303, which is a little bit concerning here. So we will find out very soon.
That's a little suspect of him not not to mention 303.
Mhm.
It is good to see that he doesn't have drinks in his hand, though. That was, that is kind of the highlight of him going clubbing. Maybe he's just doing it for cardio, and he's just cutting weight, doing whatever substances and dancing the night away.
Well, let me throw a couple of names at you. God forbid Conor McGregor falls off the card. The first person I thought about him facing, possible. What about Max Holloway goes in there, fills in, defends the BMF belt against Michael Chandler to headline 303? Would that juice you up?
Ooh, I mean, the BMF title on the line, I feel like he'd be like, "Hey, fellas," and just jump right on that.
Mm-hmm. What about, and I thought about this right before I went live, what about if Nate Diaz came back to the UFC and got on the same card as his brother Nick Diaz to headline UFC 303 just for a badass fight against Michael Chandler? Would you say that? Would you be excited about that?
I mean, I think Michael Chandler brings enough excitement himself to any fight. He tends to, like with Dustin, you were mentioning before, he kind of threw away the game plan, went for, go for broke. So let's just make this exciting and throw caution to the wind and get punched in the face or whatnot. But, yeah, Nate versus Michael. I mean, Nate's always going to be a big name. Nate's got an interesting style, likes to strike, does some BJJ. It'd be fun for the memes just to have, an omoplata or something from Nate. And, Chandler's just surviving in there and they're both smiling or doing whatever weird stuff they would have done if they were in a sauna together. But, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Ronan, thank you for the call, man. Good chatting with you. Okay.
Thanks, boss. Have a great night.
All right. You too. There's Ronan coming in. We got the Snake Man over here. Oh, I like your profile pic, Snake Man. How you doing, Sonosi?
What's up?
Okay, so what do you think here? I mean, there's a lot of speculation. I threw a couple of names out maybe to fill in just in case. You never know. Conor McGregor might not fight at 303. What do you think?
I think right now he's playing fucking mind games. I mean, Chandler was due to fly there right before they canceled. Imagine he would have gone to Ireland just in time and then find out it's canceled.
Yeah, okay. So, but what do you think about the people that, what's it called? The people that are like buying pay-per-views and, well, not buying pay-per-views now because they don't know who's fighting at 303, or the people that have tickets to the event that might cancel, out of nerves.
I don't blame them.
Yeah. Right? I mean,
but
you've been...
But here's the thing, though. Conor is not a pull-out merchant unlike Khabib and Islam. He's never pulled out of a fight, no matter what.
True. Yep. Yeah, we spoke about that earlier. Yeah, I agree. He's never pulled out. He's never. So, which leads me to believe, and I hope I'm wrong on this, but I think there might be an injury. I think there might actually be an injury. Either he's getting it checked out, or he knows that this could be something that could potentially be a problem. He's had injuries going into fights before, and it kind of led in the wrong direction. I mean, if he didn't fight with that injury going into the Poirier fight, he might have never broke his leg, right? So there could be something going on, and Conor's trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do here? Like, I never pulled out of a fight. I don't want to pull out of this fight. What the fuck? What do we do here?
Yeah. I thought of somebody last minute for if either of them pulled out. Get someone like Kevin Holland at last minute. He always jumps into real ass. Think that it's already at 170.
Wait, Kevin Holland to headline against... So you think that'd be enough juice to fill in for Conor McGregor? Kevin Holland versus Michael Chandler?
More so if Chandler is out. Or Joaquin Buckley. That whole shit. Imagine that scenario. Joaquin Buckley gets his wish.
Listen, both fights I would love to see, but that's never going to happen. Like, I mean, to headline...
but there's not that many options you have. There's not that many people who are going to jump in last minute.
I think Max Holloway is a legit. I think that's a legit one because here's the thing. Yeah. They're fighting at 170, right? So Max...
Yeah, you know what? I'll give you someone just because of the memes. Volk will decide to... Because he would jump in last minute.
You know what? That's not bad. I don't think I don't think that's one that's going to get as much juice. But
it's not the worst idea ever.
I don't hate it. It won't be a main event though. They're gonna have to move things around, right? They would have to probably. I actually that can't work. That can't be a pay-per-view. Like, at least if Nate Diaz comes in there, he's proven that he can headline a pay-per-view and sell it, right, without a belt. I don't think Volk is that guy.
I think you hate Volk a little too much, man.
You think Volk could headline a pay-per-view with no title attached?
If it's against McGregor, dude, headlined it against.
We're not talking against McGregor. Hold on a second. We're talking against Chandler.
Oh, dude, there's not that many options for. Yeah, unfortunately, no. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about McGregor.
No,
yeah,
no.
there's not that many options.
No, Chandler's
If
still
not,
good.
If it's not Max or a Nate, yeah, like you said, there's pretty much no one else. I mean, who's else is popular? Are you gonna? You know what? Why do I just picture, just for humor, because they have him on sideline during the pay-per-view, they just yank Ian Gary. He's like, you know what, Ian Gary, go up there, or MVP, you go up there. You two have some star power, not much.
I'm surprised Ian Gary and MVP aren't the co-main event. Like, I'm actually surprised by that, considering Conor McGregor is supposed to be on top. But I don't know. I still don't even think Ian Gary has enough star power to do it, to be honest.
Neither do I, but you know, if that happens last minute, you need somebody.
The only reason why I say Max Holloway is because he has that dopey BMF belt, right? And
Yeah,
it would be at
anytime,
170.
anywhere.
Yeah, Max is a fucking dog. I got to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised, regardless if Max is on standby. I would not be surprised.
Yes, but I don't think he's ever fought at 170.
No, but this is a dopey novelty fight anyway, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they have, because who would be the standby on this fight? So God forbid someone got hurt in the lead up to this thing. Who would you put in there? I mean, if you put Max in versus Conor, that's a massive thing because they fought already, right? Yeah. And if Max versus Chandler, then you say, okay, the dopey BMF belt's on the line. You have like an option. There's really nothing. There's not much left other than like a Nate Diaz, who's not even in the UFC.
That's the only reason why I even mentioned Ian and Paige. It's just because of the fact they're already on the card. It's why. That's the only welterweights on the card other than those two.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's slim pickings. They might.
I know. I mean,
I tell you what, they might just fucking yank this card. They might. It's the second pay-per-view of the month. The only thing is International Fight Week, right? So you're gonna have to
yank it. They'd have to find somebody last minute.
Yeah, I don't know what they do.
Oh, I know. You know what? Who they'll bring back just for humor? Even though I would hate it. Hey, Jorge, we need help.
Oh my god, dude. You know, yeah. I mean, oh my god. Oh Jesus.
They would pay. Listen, they paid him so much money that first time. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, hey, I know you're not taking on contract anymore. But you want to do us a solid for a one-off?
Man, I tell you. You know what? What about all right, now I'm going to go really quick because honestly, I don't even think I wouldn't buy that pay-per-view. In fact, I probably would steal that pay-per-view. If Jorge was like, because I wouldn't even like, I'd be like, are you kidding me with this? Get this guy out of here. You know what? Let me throw something at you. Okay, you ready for this? You ready for this? This is just jumped into my head right now. Logan Paul.
Oh,
Logan.
God. It would sell, unfortunately. It'd be horrifying.
And the reason why I say this is Logan Paul's calling out fucking like, you know, Patty Pimblett and nonsense like that. Logan Paul already has prime. He's flirted with fighting in the UFC. What if they threw him a boatload of money and he fought like Michael Chandler in some weird ass fucking? I mean, they would look ridiculous.
It had to be a weird ass catch weight because the guy's a cruiserweight, like 190 something pounds.
It would have to be
that much weight.
Yeah.
I think he's bigger than his brother.
Yeah.
Jake. So you good luck starving him out.
Well, I mean, he's calls out Patty Pimblett, Logan Paul. Right? That's the guy he wants to fight in MMA. So, of course, there's going to be a catch weight.
Well, to be fair, though, Patty is a fat ass when he's not training. So he's probably the same weight class when he's not training.
What would you do? Like, honestly, if Conor McGregor is not fighting on this card, we
fucked.
literally, I mean, we have zero options here. It's basically what we said. There's nothing else.
Oh, no, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Unless you, like I said, I don't even like Jorge Masvidal. I despise him, but
Me
he's
too.
Oh, my God. I just thought of the worst scenario ever. So the last person I would ever think to pop up in the, I don't think he would sell, but I think just the fact that you wouldn't see it coming, Kobe. I said it would never happen, but you never. This is weird. If they threw him enough money and he's an actual welterweight.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I don't think that's worth a main event for a pay-per-view.
There's no one worth, but I'm just throwing out random names at this point.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's
Usman. I mean, Usman cuts too much weight.
There's no link. Like the only one that could do something like this without a belt is Diaz. Yeah, that's it.
It's Nate. Diaz or Max.
And Nate,
Max has a belt.
Nate being on the same card as his brother Nick, it makes all the sense in the world.
They're not on the same card.
What?
You said Nate and being on the same card.
And Nick
is fighting on. They're not on the same card.
Wait, Nick is not on that. Wait, hold on. Oh shit, he's not on 30.
He's in the August card coming up in Abu Dhabi.
Why did I think? Oh, you're right. Oh yeah, fuck it. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. You're right.
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't even think about that. Fuck. Yeah, I thought Nick was on that card. Yeah, no, forget it. That's not. I mean, there's no chance in hell that happens. So that's out. So Max Holloway's the only guy.
Yeah, we're fucked. Oh, speaking of that card, real quick.
Yeah,
I
you're
am
right.
fascinated with the third fight on the card, Joe Pyfer and Mark Andre.
Hold on a second. Let me look at this fucking card. How bad is this card then? Jesus Christ.
It's not that great. Oh, there is one question I'm gonna have before I head out because I know you want to get to other people. It's not that great of a card. It's okay card. It's not great. What would you rather have? Because I had this discussion with somebody, but I'm gonna leave this as a question to post to the chat and use. Would you rather have a card like last week where it was all kind of mid for the most part, but the main event delivered, or would you rather a card that delivers throughout, but then the main event sucks all the energy out and it's just bad and you were excited for?
No, I like the main event with juice. Yeah, I like that with juice because if I was going to the card, I would like it balanced because I like to get there for the first fight. But I like the juice leading into it because and as a streamer especially because I get to talk to the chat along the way, right? So we can kind of hang and just say, this fight sucks, and we can get to know each other. And then knowing that something is going to be fire at the end of the night. If it was a balanced card, as a fan going to the event, I would rather that for sure.
It's just a mixed feeling. I was curious because some people have answered one or the other.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have that meaning. Sometimes I said it last night. Well, not last night. I said it on Sunday basically. If the fight would have been mid for the most, but if you would have had a great card, but then the main event sucks, it sucks all the energy out, and suddenly you rate the card much lower. Same with this card that just happened. Okay, this card was kind of average, but that main event pushed it up by a point or two.
Yeah, like there's some good things on here. The Talbot kid the kid's phenomenal. Jordan's fun to watch, but I don't know, whatever. Cub Swanson versus Feely, that's a good fight. But you
Andre's gonna die.
Yeah.
I want Andre to win one last fight and retire, please, man.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a good fight. But Gary versus Page, I think there's a lot of back and forth you can go with that. I don't think there's really a lock in that one. That's an interesting fight. Pfeiffer looked like trash in his last fight. I'm curious to see what he's got. Bueno Silva and Jesuan, listen, I don't give a fuck. I understand.
I wish that fight was, honestly, I wish that was. I would. Here's. I'm just gonna be very unpopular opinion. I would switch the Waterson fight and the Bueno Silva one.
I would just get both of them on the card. I don't give a fuck about either of them.
If I had to choose, if I have to keep a women's fight, I'd rather have that one. That's more intriguing than the Bueno Silva one.
If it's a Conor McGregor card, get ready because you're gonna see female fights you don't want to fucking see. You're gonna see some things you don't want to see because people are like, well, Conor's on the card, and that's the dice that they roll because they know Conor never pulls out of a card, which makes this very alarming. Listen, Jamal Hill versus Olberg is a fire fight.
You know what? That's the most exciting fight on the card.
Great fight.
Almost as much as Conor and Chandler because it'll answer questions. Is Olberg all of that? Is Jamal Hill a scrub like I've said he's been? We'll find out.
Yeah. No, this is a really good fight. I like it better than the Roundtree fight. Some people have shit on me for it, but I'm sorry. Olberg is like, this dude is on fire right now. Jamal Hill needs this win, so he's got something to prove against an up-and-comer. Both of these guys are interesting in very many ways. So I love it. But you can't main event it. You can't. There's no title on the line.
No.
You know what I heard Ariel say? Or someone said it. I can't remember who it was, but someone says maybe an interim belt's throwing a line there. I'm like, you fucking on dude, if they do that, I'm gonna have to fucking steal it. I'm gonna have to steal it. There's no way.
What will be the interim belt? You know what? It's bad enough Aspinall is in the worst position ever right now. Just imagine.
Dude, it would be such a panic move, and it would be nauseating. I hope it sells 0 pay-per-views. That's freaking crazy.
Who would be the interim title? Pantoja?
No. Jamal Hill versus Olberg for the interim strap.
What?
That's what they were saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, especially the way Jamal just lost.
That's so painful. I'm gonna get off the phone. I'm disgusted now.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, Sinos.
See ya.
All right. Thank you. That's the phone lines. Thank you. All right, guys. Listen. Keep the conversation going in the comment section. If I missed you in the chat, let me know your thoughts on Conor McGregor. I want to hear all the theories. I'm going to read all the theories that you guys have. Is Conor going to fight at UFC 303? Let me know down below. What's the reason why the press conference was canceled? Thoughts on Poirier being overrated? Thoughts on Islam Makhachev? Is he the GOAT or whatever the hell you want to talk about with Islam? Who's next? Would you like to see him at welterweight? All the fun stuff. Paulo Costa, is he a bum? Whatever. But we'll be back here on Wednesday night. We have a second channel called Gummy Gang where we, in between MMA-Holes streams, we pop up on there. So go follow that. MMA-Holes.tv. Challenge me on Goat Milk. I'll see you over on MMA-Holes.tv, the greatest UFC pick'em league on the internet. We already have 200 people we just launched. Okay? MMA-Holes.tv. goatmilk.tv. Goat milk is where it's at. Thank you for the donations tonight. Hit the like button if you haven't done so. And don't be an a-hole, be an MMA hole. Good night, guys.